10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Internet Drive with Gregory Wordsmith.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
And now, here is your host.
Greetings, Sanbonani, Dumelang, Molweni, and Avusheni, fellow South Africans. And if there's a language I forgot, please don't kill me, I'll only get better with time. I go by the name Gregory Wordsmith, your host with the most of the Internet Drive with Gregory Wordsmith, a podcast that is aimed at discussing social issues affecting young people and young professionals, coming to you straight from Pretoria, the capital city of South Africa. Whether you are listening to this podcast from your cell phone or your laptop or your tablet, please do hit the share button and let everybody know that the Internet Drive with Gregory Wordsmith is finally here. I have to say I'm honored and quite excited that this is finally happening. Well, constant interaction with friends and family has always been and will always be part of our lives as human beings. As sociable beings, we have always relied on communication to help us build and strengthen personal or business relationships. In that regard, when it is impossible or rather inconvenient for us to hold face-to-face discussions, we rely on social media to make communication possible. The introduction of the internet has brought about so many alternatives to everyday communication, and with the rapid rise in technological inventions, the introduction of social media sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn meant that we now have the liberty to reach a maximum number of people without sacrificing the intimacy of person-to-person communication. Now, having said that, it is important to note that the aforementioned social media sites are major contributors to how most corporate organizations conduct their daily operations today. In today's episode, we'll be discussing how young professionals should behave themselves on social media. And to help us elaborate deep into this topic, making sure that we are leaving no stone unturned, on the line we have Mrs. Zagele Madlala, who is a senior graphic designer at Ditsecho Media, a multinational public relations corporation. She is also part of the team at Ditsecho Media that goes around giving social media training to young professionals. Ms. Madlala, you are welcome to the show.
How are you?
I'm good, Mr. Zagale Madlala. Before we dive deep into the conversation, I would like to say thank you for agreeing to do the interview with me today, and I'm very honored to have you on the show. I mean, I understand you have a busy and tight schedule, but for the mere fact that you have decided to spare some time for the Internet Drive with Gregory Wordsmith, again, I have to say thank you.
No, I'm honored to be on your show and, talk to you guys, spread the message, give my 2 cents. So it's an honor. Thank you.
Ms. Madlala, on a general perspective, not being specific to any social media platform, what would you say is an ideal social media etiquette for a young professional?
So being professional on social media is basically using social media to impact people's lives positively. Having a good profile picture that represents who you are, how you want people to address you. So if you're a sports person, have a profile picture that represents that you are a sporty person and you want people to respect you when they address you. People mustn't just swear at you or say certain comments that are not about you. Also, the way you address people online, you need to know that what you say to people might have a positive or bad response. So if you swear at people, people might swear back at you. If you talk politely to people or your tone is off, then people respond in an off tone towards you. So you don't necessarily have to put everything out there, but just address things properly, and then you will get a proper response. So what you put out there is what you get out there, basically.
I think you have touched on a very good point right there, to say that the manner in which a person represents themselves on social media determines the manner in which they are going to be received and responded to by the public. Now, having said that, you have people that like partying, making jokes, posting photos and videos of themselves engaging in the nightlife. Be it that person is a newly employed graduate or it is someone that is still looking to get employed in a big corporate organization. How do we then determine if a certain behavior is appropriate or inappropriate for a professional on social media, especially on Twitter and Facebook?
Yes. I always advise young people, especially if they are about the partying lifestyle, they like drinking and they like sharing. Like if you are a young individual who loves sharing their life on social media, I always advise that rather not put the company you work for, because people will always associate you with your company that you work for. And if you say inappropriate things or act in a certain manner online, people will tend to tag your company. And we've seen this a lot of times, where people will tag the company that you work for and say that I'm so disappointed that the media employs such alcoholics, for example, such alcoholics like Sizagele, who go around drinking and driving. So it's always advisable not to put the company that you work for online, because you are not, people like saying they are not the people that they are online. Like they have a different persona online and they have a different persona out of social media.
Yeah, in real life.
But in real life, humans cannot separate the two. Like you are not separate from your social media persona. So it's just advisable not to put the company that you work for online. But if you are a senior person in your company, which is a well-known company, then you should restrict yourself from posting such things online, because that might jeopardize you having a job the next day.
You know, the issue of putting the company that you work for in your social media profile is without a doubt a very serious one. Suppose now I did not include my company as part of my social media profile, but amongst my friends on that platform, be it Facebook or Twitter, there are people who knows the managers of my company and they see me posting a video where perhaps I'm seen uttering racist remarks, which might be deemed as putting the name of the company in disrepute, and they decide to report me. Will that not put me in trouble?
It will. But as young people, we also need to practice some responsibility, because the internet does not forget. What you put online may last forever. So I think as a young person, you have to practice some responsibility on your side. And if you know that your boss is following you on these social media platforms, restrict what you put online. Like, you don't have to put everything online. Well, that's my belief. You don't have to put everything online. You don't have to go to a party and show everyone that you're drinking. There are so many other ways of expressing yourself as a young person. Even if you do not feel the same way as your company policies, you don't have to put it in line, because if you don't feel the same way as the company policies, I don't think you would have been hired, because most companies hire people because they feel like they meet the company policies, they fit in with the company, only to find out that you are actually lying and you are not that person. So I feel like people should just practice restriction on what to put on social media, what not to put. And it's not only about your current job. It's also about where you want to be career-wise. Do you want to one day run for president? Do you want to maybe one day run for a CEO? And I mean, how are people supposed to take you seriously when they can see that you are a wild person online? You're hot-headed. You just do things without thinking about them. So it's all of those things. Like, social media is fun, but it can also destroy at the same time. So you need to be strategic on what you put online and think about your goals, where you want to be in the future. Is it worth it? Will it jeopardize me getting to that place that I want to be one day?
Yes, I think most young people, especially those from the townships, where we actually find that there is a high unemployment rate amongst the youth. The young people are not taking into consideration that prior to being employed by any big corporate organization, there is a high possibility that a background check might be done on you. That obviously includes going through your social media accounts. In that regard, the question would be, is it always the case with every corporate organization that before they hire someone, they do background checks on their social media accounts?
Most companies do. They do background checks. You will also find that hiring companies make you sign a form where they actually go and look that, have you been arrested? Have you done fraud? But most companies also do background checks, especially on social media, because you don't want to hire someone who does not who is not aligned to your company and your company policies. Like, for example, FNB or one of these banks might do a background check online to see that, like for a senior manager, are you radical? Are you like an alcoholic who goes out? Do you drink and drive? They'll need to check all those things, because when they put you in that position, they're putting you at a certain level. So you need to meet that level that they're putting you on. And it would be disappointing all of a sudden you are that manager and people are bringing up stuff on social media. And you've seen how social media has an impact on people's jobs and people's careers, and how one day you can do something and the next day you've been cut off. Steve Hobmeyer, for example. One day he said something and the next day DSTV was like, we are withdrawing our sponsorship from you because you are not aligned with what we want anymore.
Yes.
So companies do their background checks, especially on social media, and it's very important what you put out there. Like I said at the beginning, you don't have to put everything online. You don't have to put yourself acting stupid, drinking with your friends, getting drunk. You don't have to put that online. But you can take nice pictures of you just sitting at a restaurant. I mean, we already know, like most people, when you go out to a restaurant or to a club, you're about to get drunk or you're just going to get tipsy. You don't have to put everything online.
I would like to touch on the issue of tagging and posting of photos and videos.